Well, I had a very close relationship with both my grandmothers, but it was a really special relationship with my maternal grandmother. And I would spend weekends at her house, and I would love to just go into her bedroom, and just she would have a recliner in her bedroom, and I would just sit at her feet, literally, and we would just talk, and that was the one person. Sometimes there are things that I wasn't willing to share with my parents because I didn't know how that would turn out. But those I could share anything with her, and so and she would give me answers with such wisdom and such love and care that it never felt like chastisement. It never I never felt anything like that. And so she was someone who I could always talk to. And one day I was sitting at her feet and we were just sitting there just talking and watching TV. And she said, "You know what? You gonna be a pastor one day. You gonna speak to thousands of people. You're going to speak God's word." And so I'm looking up at her. I'm like, okay, but in my mind I'm saying, well, Mama, you don't know what I did last night, so I don't think God is calling me.
Right.
I don't
You weren't
think God
talking to
is
me.
calling me. So yeah, you definitely ain't talking to me. But I never forgot that. And I was born and raised in the church, and as a teenager, I was, I played the drums in the church and was, in church every week, and I would even come home on the weekends from college, just to play for my local church. And as I got older, that connection with the church, it never led. I always have had a desire to be connected to the church. And so when after getting married and my wife and I we moved to Georgia, and it was there that we joined this church, and the pastor of that church, he pretty much said the same thing that my grandmother told me like maybe 20 years prior. He said, you called to preach, right? And I'm just there just serving, just doing whatever God is leading me to do, just trying to contribute. He said, you're called to preach, right? I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And so he never pressured me or anything like that. He
You
was
like,
just,
my grandma?
yeah, right. Do you know my grandmother?